Thank you for the introductions. Yeah, pleasure to be here. So pleasure to participate for my first time at Metaverse One. Yeah, if you want, I will share my screen.
Yeah, you can just share your screen and take it away. I guess this includes a lot of demos, live demos as well. So really interesting session coming.
Yep. I'm the kind of guy which is crashing a live demo, but yeah. So let's try today. Yep. So first, yeah, I would like to thank the organizer for this event. To introduce myself, I'm Clément Séraphin. Like you might hear from my accent, I'm French. I'm an M365 architect, mainly working on all identity subjects, merge and acquisitions. Yep, I was honored to be the first French MVP in the mesh area. So I'm the only one right now. We are 7 in the world, so we have finally a mesh area on an MVP program. I'm part of multiple communities, so mainly some of them are French, but we have some international one you might catch up. So I'm part of the French ones are like the Identity Days, where we are speaking mainly about identities. Ninja Modern Workplace France. So the main event is taking place in Switzerland. For those which are going on the north of France, we have the Power 365, which will happen in 2 or 3 weeks, and the Power Platform French Summit. And the main one, the AMP community. You may have known it about the AMS. It's an association. So the president is Patrick Guimonet. And so we are organizing events all around the world. So soon you will have Monaco in France. You may have Seoul. You have a lot. So if you are going on the AMP community website, you will find all events we are going around the world. So today I will make a little presentation about Mesh, about some news. So it has been generally made available in 2024. So let's make a little bit of history. You may already know that. So this main presentation will be what we can do with that. So history, a few years ago, so I will keep it simple. Microsoft presented Microsoft Mesh with the HoloLens to share some collaborative tasks like for an airport. 2 years ago, 2 years after, we had this presentation about Mesh for Teams with the nth floor. And finally, the final result, it's Mesh, which is kinda the same stuff of Mesh for Teams presented 3 years ago at the Ignite. So just a little recap, Mesh, so we had the avatars, which has been released now since 2 years. So you are seeing my avatar in the meeting normally. You might think, yeah, avatars were kind of not useful, but when they are used in immersive space and mesh apps, they can become really useful. So we will see immersive space, which are included in your Teams license, and some concrete mesh example, which are included in Teams Premium. About avatars. So you already know avatars since 2 years, but what has been released recently about that? So you can make your avatars like you're making a Sims. So for those which are playing video games. But now there are some kind of new stuff which are happening. What is the difference between those two avatars? Basically, the one on the right has been done manually because, you know, I try to be ideal. And the one on the left has been directly generated from a picture. Since multiple months now, you can generate your avatars directly from a photo. And it's kind of a good stuff because, you know, yeah, if you want to be a little bit more realistic, it could be a good thing to use this functionality. So look at the camera and you can directly generate your avatars. For information, all information to the picture which is treated in this process, it's not kept by Microsoft. They are just using it, generate the avatar and selecting the picture on their side. But yeah, it's pretty useful because we can have now avatars which are really seems like we are. After that, so now we have an avatar. Let's talk about what's new in immersive experience. Recently, so immersive experience, little reminder, I will take a little context. So use case. We have Contoso, so a company well known by a lot of people. Contoso Coaster World has 25 offices in the United States. Currently, they recruited 16 persons in the company. They want to facilitate the onboarding process. So it will take place today, and we can train it all new joiners in one site. Yeah, just to add some stuff like the problematic at my team, I have someone in Japan and another one in France. So, every time you want to try to make an onboarding, you want to invite all people, and you're like, okay, yeah, it might cost a lot, might be difficult. We can still make a dynamic onboarding if I don't have the budget to have every people in one site. So yeah, it could be good to have people in one site, but yeah, in this case, will be complicated. So that's why you have immersive experience. Right now, it's just when you have a meeting, you can go on directly an immersive experience where you will be able to exchange with people. Immersive space currently, initially you have two space. So you have the lake house, like you see in the video, and you have in the other side the oasis, and it's just some space where you can exchange, you can have interactive games. But what is the most important about that, there are new things which has been released by Microsoft. It is what they call the workshop. So right now I will show you. So in Mesh I can still join it. I have it just here. So currently you can join this space directly from Teams and enter what they call the workshop. So what is good about this workshop is basically you can have an area where you will have just your keynote and your presentation. So you have some seats here. You can share your screen directly. So at Submit, I will add the screen, poof, screen share. Poof. Okay, let's take the screen. Yup. Yep. Let's turn it a bit. Yep. And because it's a small screen, I won't have the biggest one. Yep. Up. Okay, it's perfectly aligned. And so you will have the possibility to have a screen share directly inside it. And you can, so as well, you can customize the space in Mesh. But yeah, initially, if you are going in an immersive space from Teams, by default, the screen share will be here. So it's pretty good for the keynotes. But after that, when you are making some workshops, you have little rooms which are just around there, and you can make some workshops to share with people you are onboarding or during meetings. So you can have different workshops with different subjects. So yeah, it's kind of new. There has been released last month, this space directly in immersive space. You can select it. And basically what is the difference with Oasis? It's really more intended for work. I don't really say there is a lot of icebreaker inside this one, but for more traditional presentation, it could be good. So I'm showing you this one in Mesh because I don't want to swap the meeting in immersive space because I can't share no more my screen. So I show you on Mesh, but yeah, it's brand new since last month. You can use workshop rooms, and I think it's pretty useful. It will so it's included in your Teams license. You don't need Teams Premium to use this space. So I think it's kind of a good thing. So after that, you have like normal environments, like we said. So you have the lake house. I think the lake house is kind of the space you can make a nice icebreaker, because inside this one, you will have some stuff like marshmallows, like, you know, some kind of questions about people to make a nice icebreaker. And after that, the Oasis. The Oasis is the traditional one, just like a meeting room, you know. So there are no workshop space. It's just one meeting space, which is for large group, just that. So, you know, because there are no bracket rooms, it's kind of the basic stuff if you want to make a virtual room. So here we have the immersive space. The immersive space is just the thing you want to go when you are making a meeting. There's not a lot of customization inside, but it's included in your license. Tomorrow, you just have to go on the top, on the view, and you can select immersive space and you can sweep. So go on the top, select immersive space and go, and you can test it. You just need an avatar to do that in meeting. Sometimes it's, you know, making progress, some interactions between people, because when you are just in a meeting, having a 3D environment make the interaction a little bit better. So yep, it's just the slide I put about that. So it's an example of customer engagement they post at Microsoft. So yes, I have a lot of people right now in this room. Basically, it was limited to 16, but it's intended to progress. Now let's talk about mesh and serious stuff. So because we are here mainly to talk about mesh. Mesh, what are mesh? Mesh are custom environments directly on Teams. So you are making a custom environment. I show you 4 environments. So the lakehouse, the 2 oases, and the workshop. But right now I need something really more custom. And since some companies try to make some custom environments, so they describe what kind of stuff they can make in custom environments. So audience meetings, some onboarding, some training, social gathering, or guided tours and demo. I will, so Mesh first, things to know, it's currently managed from a portal. So there's a dedicated portal, I'll show you the links. And you can here manage your environments like you want. So when you have an environment, you can share it to just some people. You are not forced to have this environment available for everyone. It's just you are taking your environment, which is onboarding, and you are just sharing it to interns, for example. You can, after that, make specific environment for specific people in your company and ensure a segregation between environments, so not every people are spam with like 90 environment in the company. Currently, how to execute mesh. So we have the mesh app. I have the mesh app, which is just near. Okay. So it's this one I'm currently in. Now Microsoft announced in private preview, you have a mesh which is directly included in Teams. If you remind, a few years ago, we have the events, the Teams events. And for Teams events, you had a dedicated portal to create a Teams event. And right now, Teams event is totally integrated in Teams. So it's kind of the same stuff. So they are delivering Microsoft Mesh through the Microsoft Store and now in private preview. And I think it will be really soon in public preview. You will have Mesh directly inside Teams. When we have the first preview of Mesh, so Mesh is generally available since January 2024. Before we had the preview, we had the possibility to use Mesh in directly Internet Explorer, so directly on Edge. So in your web browser, you have the possibility to use Mesh. In general availability, it's not the case anymore. I think it should come again because it will be directly integrated in Teams. After, you have another possibility is to use it directly on a MetaQuest headset. Yep, only Meta, not Vision Pro. Why? So we'll discuss about that later. But currently, so when we had the Ignite in 2021, Microsoft announced a partnership with Meta, and they said, yeah, Mesh will be available on Meta. So maybe this partnership may blocked the availability of Mesh on a Vision Pro, but yeah, it should come soon, I think. Okay, let's talk about the template. So when you want to make a custom environment, you need to create a template. So you select the template, and after that, you will have to push it in draft and publish it. So what I have here, when I take my workshop, so I will just give you a tour of my collection. I use only draft. Why? Because it's really easier. When I have a draft, I can customize the template, go inside, put some elements, and so after this, when I put all elements, I can publish. But if I publish, I can't anymore edit the template I made, and I must create directly an event to join the template I just customized. So let's take the workshop. So you have some options. So my collection, I have only one. It's Friday then. I will create a template. Let's go. Yep, customized. So we will call this the no-code customization because you don't need any skill of code for that. I will take the one from Microsoft, okay? So like the workshop. And after that, I will save a draft. So template created, customize, no code. After, when you're entering this one, you will have the possibility to just modify it. So I will modify it. Currently, when you're in no code, you can only put 4 elements. So we put 1 element together. It was a screen share. I can put some text. So, yep, I can write welcome at Metaverse 1. And after that, if I want, I can bring it on the wall directly. So currently we have only, only 4 possibilities. So text, video, image, and screen share. A little things about the video, currently it's not, the URL here, it's not crossing, it's not like you can't take an embedded YouTube. The kind of video must be hosted in your tenant, so you need to put the video on your SharePoint and put the SharePoint URL here. So it's kind of what you can do in no code. So you can have some customization of your space. When you will leave, if you want, you can save. And after that, yeah, when you're finished, you can just deliver it. So I will put the video. So let me take the video. So I will take this video. I will put it on this wall as example. Yep. Yep. Okay, I have a video here. I have my little text. Welcome to Metaverse 1. And here I kind of start to have some no-code customization of my environment. Okay, so it's just the first step. You can customize Microsoft environment in Mesh. All this kind of customization, it's Mesh, so Teams Premium license needed. After, we will continue. So I will go to the next step. The next step is what I will call the template low code. So for the no code, I show you, so you can add videos with your SharePoint link. And we will go for the low code. So let's take again Contenso Coaster World. So those new recruit join the Disney attraction designer team. So they must conceive a new attraction. And how we can make this team working together on the same 3D coaster to come. So here we're gonna go on a low-code environment. So this low-code will have to be done in Unity. So here I showed you what were on Mesh directly, what are the Microsoft environments. So when you create a template, You have the Microsoft one. After that, you know, I'm in a coaster company, so I will need more. I will need an environment really more customized. So on my collection, I made some stuff. I will show you them. I created directly a custom environment. So to do that, you have to install Unity. You have directly a toolkit, so the mesh toolkit in Unity. You have to create your wall environment, and after that, you can push it directly in mesh. And if you want, you can make customization after on it. For some example, so I'm not a Unity expert. So Microsoft put some example. So there are some tutorial, the Mesh 101, the new Mesh 201. You have the physics effects gallery. Why? Because Microsoft is supporting some physics effects in directly mesh environments. So we will show that further in the demo. After this, the toy box, where you can have some icebreaker inside it. You have the science building with few elements about science, gravity, etc. And you have the dark room just to relax. So those examples, you have all tutorial directly on the learnmicrosoft.com. So when you are going on this learn, you will have step-by-step tutorial. And so, I'm not a genius. I follow the Mesh 101. I gone to physics effect gallery. And so I progressed like that to make my custom environments. Here it's the template, low code, some example of what I made for New York. We'll see that in the demo. So I made a full template, low code, directly in Unity. When you are doing that, there are some kind of stuff. So for people which like the Power Platform and Power Automate, it's kind of the same stuff. You have visual scripts in Mesh, and those visual scripts will help you to make some animation or some interaction. Like when you click on a box, you will have some events which are happening. And all this stuff in Unity. I just take 3D elements, placing them, putting some animations. So in fact, when I finishing here, there is no code. I didn't do any C#, anything. So that's why I will call it a template low code. It takes time, but you can do a lot of stuff with it. So let's take a look about our Coaster World company. So I already prepared an environment, dashboard, and so we had our Coaster company. Let's go, let's load. So here is my environment I created customized. So for those which are recognizing the logo, it's start command. So what I done, it was, I don't will say it's an exact replicate. I'm not a genius, guys, but I tried to make a little Buzz Lightyear like we have at Disneyland in Paris. So I just put some pictures and you have the briefing. So the briefing is starting. Yeah.
Hello, Clement. We don't hear any audio from the video.
You don't hear the audio from the video?
No.
Sadly. Yep. Okay. So anyway, I don't know why, but sadly. Okay. Yeah, maybe let me select audio settings, speaker, yep. Wow.
Yeah, make sure that your Windows audio or loudspeakers are the same as you use in Teams, and then you can use the share with audio.
Speakers.
Now, when you are sharing, you should have the share with audio setting on top. When you go to the top of the screen, about in the middle, you have that pop out, the sharing pop out, top of the screen. We won't be able to see it. It's like in the middle center of your screen to the very, very top. Even more higher, 10, go left from there. Left.
Wow,
you
don't
can
worry
see the
too much.
sharing toolbar. You should be able to say, it's not in the audio settings, it's in the sharing toolbar.
Okay. Attack, settings.
No, not there. If you take your mouse to the real top of the screen, about in the center area of the screen, you should have the sharing.
Share sound,
Yeah, just put sound on from there.
And no, you should be
at the mercy of Zerg. Star Command picked a fine time to send the new recruits. All right, you junior space rangers, listen up. Zerg is using the stolen battery cells to energize his secret weapon. Our mission is to find his robots and his secret weapon and blast them. Green Squadron will retrieve the power cells, while the rest of you concentrate on those robots. You'll rendezvous at Planet Z. I will remain here at Star Command to coordinate the mission. Battle stations, report to the flight deck for immediate launch. To infinity and beyond.
So here what we have is just a web slate. So it's a web page I can directly integrate on my Meta environment. So I just embedded what is a mission briefing we have in Disneyland Paris. And so like you heard, I put some lasers. So sorry, I didn't have time to make them stop firing. But basically, yeah, they're firing pretty everywhere. And so let's go. So I just made a little environment. So going through, you can, with your laser, intend to hit directly targets. So a little things about that. When we are on mesh, so if I am on my computer, I can't move my hands. So it's a kind of a bad stuff. But if I'm taking my headset, I can move my hand and directly aim. Here you have some reactions. So if I use reactions, yeah, the object is not seen anymore. But yeah, suddenly you can't move hands directly on mesh. It's just sending lasers everywhere. Let's take it again. And so I put some aliens. So if I took my headsets, you can directly aim inside it. After this, so I just, to make this environment, have to put elements inside. So you can use Sketchfab to farm from 3D elements and put them in all the level. And what is really good about that, so I can create a custom environment. For my use case of Coaster World, which are people designing just attractions, I can put some elements. And here it's an example of what you can do with gravity inside Meta, inside directly Mesh. So you can put some gravities and having elements going through the gravity inside. So all these objects will just make a turn around this point approximately. And so it's an example of what you can do directly in low code. And so after that, I have some amazing question at the end of the attraction. Can you beat Zerg? So yeah, I just have to, I don't know, it's kind of legit in terms of copyright, but yeah, so I was able directly to put the elements around Zerg and to make a final boss with all the gravity around it. It's not, so here to make that, it took me something like 4 hours. Some kind of between 4 and 6 hours. You have to find all elements, place them, after that align gravity, object collision, etc. And so yeah, it's not as amazing as what you can, when you are making the attraction on Disneyland, but for sure If you have a project team working on that for maybe 1 month, you can directly have the same result as you will have in the attraction in Disneyland. So it's kind of stuff which will allow you to have like a digital twin of your attraction to work on it. After that, so it's, I just try to make an attraction, but you have some other use case. So I just will leave this one and I will show you some other use case I made for other conference. So I went to New York last month, and one of the other possibility you can have with it is to visit a city as example. So yeah, let it load, sorry. But yeah, so you have some possibility to visit a city. In 2 weeks, I will go in holiday, and so what I will try is just, sometimes you have developers, they have a project. They must take a room, they will put stickers all over the wall. And with Mesh, if you provide them a virtual environment, they will be able to put stickers in the virtual environments. And so anywhere they are, everywhere they are, they can just go in this virtual space and show their OBEA to see at what state are their project. So here it's the space I made for the conference in New York, so where I was last month. And so yeah, every time at conference you have some burgers, okay, maybe not some beer, but I'm kind of sad because at Metaverse One it's a virtual event, so I can't enjoy a good dinner. That's why I still have some stuff here, and the dream of every people in conference. You can just mess up with the wall table. Here there is no impact. Yeah, in real, if you are making that, you will have some people which will scream. But yeah, it's kind of stuff you can make in Mesh. And so about visiting a city, I made the example of New York. I think it's a good example because we have some stuff. So you might know Rexy, which is in a museum in New York. I put a replicate of the One World Trade Center or the Wayne Tower for those which are liking Batman. And I have some examples here about how to make a good mesh. So when you make an environment, you have some limitations. First, when you are making the environment, it must be compatible. I have my headset, which is here. The headset on Meta is running on Android. I have my computer. I don't have the same performance in both cases. So what I will need is to adjust all my models to be able to run fluently on this environment. So I have 3 examples. I have the Empire State Building. It's an object made by Microsoft. This one, yeah, it's kind of basic, only 700 triangles to make that. And yeah, so this Empire State Building is not really good. It's pretty kind of complicated. If you put a good texture, maybe it will be good, but yeah. You have this other one, which has been made by NanoRay. It's 250K triangles. This one is way too much. Normally, you try to be behind 30K. So this one, 247K, is too much. And look at the details. It's not even that beautiful. It's just kind of basic one. I will take the last one. The last one has been made by a guy and it's 1K. And so this one is really perfect. So you have this texture, you understand the intention, and so you have the little Kong. So I put the little Kong over there. But here is a kind of object you try to reach when you create an environment. It's an object which don't have so much triangle, but which is enough to understand what you want to make in the environment. If you want to use mesh to make some odd, aerodynamic car with a lot of details, I don't will design a Formula One with all mechanic detail inside the mesh. It don't will run on my headset and it don't will be good. Maybe in few years, when the headset will be more powerful, we will see those stuff. But right now, we try to make an environment with elements which can be understood and which can run smoothly in the environment. Some other examples, so about the physics. So if you know the Flubber movie, so I made a Flubber ball. So yeah, you can have some parameters like not submitted to gravity or non-stop bouncing like Flubber. I put some balloons here, so you can just, yeah, some of them. So this one is bouncy, it's pretty normal. When I just, yep, it just will bounce. This one is not bouncy at all. Let's go, and boom. So you can play with the physics inside the mesh, and it will really allow you to make what you want. In the industry, I think it's a really good use case of what you can do. And yeah, so for example, I can have a hotel with enough detail to be viable in architecture things. So if you want, what time we have? 30, wow, we have enough time. So I will just show you a last one of what I done. So an example, which is the wind turbine. So this one is it's really just the example from Microsoft. Basically, it's just Microsoft One. When you are making the Mesh 101, you will have this example. I think it's a good one to show how it can be implemented in the industry because it's directly a wind turbine. So seeing this example will be good. So let it load. Yep. After that, we'll see that. Sorry, I will take a. I don't have the best connections, but it will come. So yeah, answer you have enough bandwidth when you are using mesh. Sometimes the environment is kind of using less than 500 megabytes, so you need to load it. Here, it's basically the Mesh 101 template. So they made a windmill, and so, it's wind turbine. And so, when we have a wind turbine company, what is the size of a turbine? The size is around 70 meters. So to make a training about the people, train someone on directly the motor here, all you will do, and it will be complicated. So you can just teleport and show the generator directly and show people how it's made inside. It's kind of things you can make. So like here I have a little video about how is working the motor inside. But yeah, so it's just, if you want to make a training on a wind turbine, so in the industry, it's something nearly impossible to have, 16 people at 70 meters above the floor and, training them on that. So it's kind of a good usage you can make. They put some example at Microsoft as well on all the wind impacting the windmill implementation. So you can place them and you can see the interaction if they will work right or not. So it's just, yeah. So Microsoft done that. I think it's kind of good stuff. It's the first tutorial you will make if you try to make a mesh environments. So we make a little turn about some mesh environments. Let's continue because I have few minutes. I show you what I called a template in low code. So I run my Unity, I put some 3D object inside, and I can have an environment. It's pretty static. I can put some animations, and after that it will run. But yeah, so if tomorrow I'm a professional, I really need this solution for a specific use case, what I will advise you is to use a template pro code. So you will need some people specialized in making 3D models. You will have some people specialized in Unity, gameplay mechanics. So I don't will say gameplay, but the mechanics in Unity and animation as well. If you saw my environments, they are pretty static. So the dinosaur is not crossing the level. Why? Because it's just not animated. If you want to make a wall animation of this dinosaur, it will take some time and some people specialized in that. After that, you will have some programming around. But what is important about this template Pro code? Microsoft in the Mesh 2.01, they implemented a new thing, which is the AI interaction. So basically, you can directly exchange with OpenAI on your mesh environment to have some elements. So in this Mesh 2.01, you have the Earth, and when you click on the Earth, it will give you in real time the information of the location you pointed out. All these scripts, all this Pro code will run on what we call Mesh Cloud Scripting, and so they need to be hosted on Azure. So if you are a professional, you want some professional stuff, you will need a template Pro code and starting to recruit people. When you have people coming from the video game area, they are really, really good at just making all you need for your mesh environment. Quick recap. So what is possible with your skills? You don't have any skills, you want to try mesh, you don't have time. You take a template from Microsoft, you can put 4 things: text, video, image, screen share. It will be a no-code template. You start to take time, like the 6 hours I took to make the Zerg environment. So you will have a static environment. You can use what we called prefab, so things which are already fabricated. And you can start to make some visual scripts to animate or make some interactions. So you will have a low code. If you still want some things which is dynamics, AI interactions, or advanced interaction, you will need to go on Pro code. Conclusion. So Mesh, it's a tool which has been released in early 2024. They are releasing a lot of stuff about the VR headset. So I will switch my camera. I'm here. So about the VR headset, I have the MetaQuest Pro, which is here. This MetaQuest, so if you have the 3 or the Pro, you can use Meta directly inside it, and you can aim with the blaster. But one thing pretty strange is currently, on Meta, you don't have Teams. So I have Mesh, but not Teams. And on the Apple Vision Pro, I have Teams, but not Mesh. I don't have the 2 headsets. 2 headsets, 2 functionality. Sometime it will come, but I think we will have Teams on Meta and Mesh on Apple Vision Pro, and everything will be solved. Yep, I clicked. The workplace will continue to evolve. So currently, this kind of virtual workspace, etc. It will continue to evolve, and why? So here it's an example. Sightful, a company, created the first laptop without screen. It's called the Sightful Spacetop G1. They have a dedicated OS, and it's allow you. So like you will have the Apple Vision Pro, but like here is really a computer. So you have the keyboard, etc. It will allow you to have virtual screens and work directly with it. Another things, Rainio. So I bring them. I have them here if you want to see them. Directly on my camera. Where I am. I have here my Rainio X2. So this model of glasses is basically the first AR glasses which are including directly a screen inside the glass. So for those which who like the CES, it's an transparent OLED. So it's directly transparent OLED, and inside you will have a screen, and it will allow you to make mixed reality. And if you are seeing the size, so it's the first model. They will make a lighter soon, but this kind of stuff is really good if you want to start working on AR. But it shows how it will miniaturize, all VR or AR stuff soon. Here it's really small. So we don't have a lot of power, a lot of functionalities, but it's the first model. Imagine in 3 years, maybe I can reduce this to be like this. So yeah, I think it will come soon, more 3 or 4 years, and you will be able to jump some virtual space really easier, and it will be really better to walk. Yeah, currently I can't walk in mesh all the day with this one. It's really waiting its weight. Okay, after that, so mesh, if you want to give a try, you still have the Microsoft Mesh trial for 6 months. Don't even need to have Teams Premium. You can test it. But yeah, let's just I give you a little disclaimer about it, because if you try to mesh environment, you finish your 6 months trial, you will need Teams Premium. So yeah, if you want to give it a try, you can. Okay, so thank you. That's pretty all for me. I hope you enjoyed the session. You have all the QR code here to rate my session, and if you want to ask question, I'm open. Don't hesitate to add me on LinkedIn as well. If you want to discuss about it, I will be really happy to discuss with you. And yeah,